So, I played Valorant a little bit. I mean, I started playing a few weeks ago and I'm level 23, which isn't bad. So don't get me wrong, I still love TabG. It is still the best shooter game I've played, which is not saying much seeing as I have now played 2. But TabG is a good game. The problem is, it's a bit dead. There are very few new players going to it, which means that most of the people who are actually playing are better than me. That is bad, because I am not actually all that good. And so I thought I need something else to play, some other shooter game, because shooter games are kind of cool. And what's popular at the moment? Valorant. And so now I'm playing Valorant, and if you see my streams on Tuesdays, then you'll have seen me streaming Valorant, but now I'm actually making some content in it. I'm just going to go to the practice shooting range thing, because first off I want to talk about the differences between this and TabG, and seeing as the only shooter game I've played other than this is TabG, all of my experiences from TabG and all of my knowledge of how to shoot comes from TabG, and well, let's just say things are a bit different, and for some reason I just felt the need to buy shields. But I mean, I've just accidentally automatically bought my loadout. This is my standard loadout. Well, other than that, I don't normally actually buy a gun because I'm lazy and I don't use it. But this is basically every gun there is. There's a lot less than in TabG. However, at the start of the round, you just buy them. I mean, this thing that I'm using right here is a Guardian. It's a single shot gun, quite powerful. It one shots to the head. That's why I like it. There are things like Stinger. Oh, I should probably do practice. And please stop running around. But you can see here that when I fire the gun, I'm not moving the mouse at all. When I fire the gun, it moves up a bit and then just stops. But as you may be able to see, the bullets are not actually going where the crosshair is. This is weird to me because in TabG, the crosshair, well, you don't actually have a crosshair, but the center of your screen is always pretty much always where the gun is pointing. That's where the camera focuses. Which means that you can just, when you fire the gun just keeps tilting upwards. In this, the recoil's different, and I don't particularly like it. Probably just because I'm used to TabG's way of doing it. But with like the big gun, you can really see that it's not shooting at the crosshairs. It just doesn't bother with that, and that's like really weird to me. This game also has various inaccuracies like firing error, so the more I fire the bigger the crosshairs get. Again, something TabG doesn't have. TabG simulates this by the gun having recoil, and you have to control it, and the recoil in TabG is a lot more significant. Basically, the recoil in this is, I've got to be honest, it's pretty easy to control. Let's get a gun that doesn't one shot to the head. But like you see, I can just fairly easily just headshot these guys into oblivion. The recoil is very minor. This game also has movement error, and you can maybe see the little yellow dots. They're very small. I have the crosshair set up so that I can see it when I'm ADSing. But it has movement error, which means if I'm running along, like if I'm standing still and I shoot this wall, I am shooting the exact same spot because this gun is accurate. But if I'm just moving, even if I'm just walking, you can see that the bullets are going in weird angles. There's a better wall over here. So if I'm just walking, the bullets are not going in a straight line. If I'm running, then they really go over the line. If I jump, you just have nothing. You just have absolutely nothing if you're in the air, which is different to TabG. In TabG, if you jump, you have more accuracy. So this game has inbuilt movement and firing error, whereas TabG simulates this by when you're moving, because it's actually simulating your whole body physics. Your gun wobbles around because that's where your arms are wobbling because you're running around. Then the recoil is just more, meaning you have to counteract the recoil more, meaning it's harder for you to aim. And so that's a bit of a shift that I had to make when I started playing it. But that's not the most significant shift, because the most significant shift I had to make was changing from playing the game rather like this, because this is how you win PUBG. You run around like this and you shoot things. As you can see, this is not working very well. In this game, you should do it like this. Which, as you can see, is much more effective, because of the movement error. Run and gunning is really not something that is possible, whereas in PUBG you don't stand still. There is no reason for you to stand still in PUBG. In this game there is very much a reason for you to stand still. Another little thing is that when I swap guns I have to reload, because like in PUBG you can be firing your gun, you can swap to the other gun and just start firing it. But like in this game, if I'm firing it and swap the other gun, we can fire it fairly quickly, but we have to sort of almost reload it, which is not how PUBG works. PUBG you can just switch very quickly, which is very nice. You can't do that here, which is sad. It means that instead of swapping around your weapons like you do in PUBG when you run out, in this game you just don't run out. Because that's another major factor that I had to get used to, which is that gunfights last a lot longer. You see, like this gun, one hits to the head. This gun, also one hits to the head. This gun doesn't. Marshall and the Op, the sniper guns, both do. In fact, the Op can like one-shot you to the leg, because it's ridiculous sometimes. Not always. No, it can't really one-hit you to the leg. But if you look at the damage on the right, if it's above 150, then it could just one-shot you just straight up, which is kind of ridiculous. But the fights last a lot less time, because, like, say, I don't know, the Spectre does 78 to the head. 2 headshots, you're dead. That's like a fraction of a second. It's like, boom, you're just dead. You can die so quickly, which means that whereas in PUBG fights tend to go on. I mean, PUBG fights aren't exactly long-winded. You don't have massive epic pitched battles against each other, but you certainly have to fire a lot more shots, because say an AK in PUBG does like 20 damage, probably a bit less, I can't remember, whereas sort of the AK vaguely like thing here, the Vandal does 160. I mean, you technically have the same amount of health. You have 100 health in this game and 100 health in PUBG. The headshot is ridiculous. Well, I say 160. It's 160 to the head, whereas in PUBG it'd be 40 to the head, because PUBG has a constant headshot to body shot rate, whereas in this game different guns have different values. It's a bit weird. Like the Marshall has double, the Vandal has like 4 times. It just seems it's a bit random and sporadic. I don't quite understand it. And that's not even to mention the whole abilities thing. So, this is a turret, because I am playing the character of Killjoy, because I always play Killjoy for some reason. This turret is kind of funny. But there's all these abilities that different characters have, which is, again, not something I am used to. Why did that not kill you? Are you just, for some reason, immune? Well then, you've got nice hips, sir. They are very bouncy. Apparently these bots have bouncy hips. I was not expecting that. Bro, that's the floor. There's no one down here. There's no one there. You are shooting the floor. There's a whole range of characters. I mean, I don't have all of them unlocked, but they all have their own abilities, and I know if we just say randomly grab Yoru, we have like flash grenades basically, except that they're not flash grenades, they're throwable abilities. There aren't like grenades as such. Hey look, decoy. It's a much better decoy than PUBG dummy grenades, I'm gonna be honest. But then there's all sorts of things like I can just be like, okay, so I want to teleport, yes, because this game has that sort of stuff as well. Some of the characters have the abilities to teleport around. There's a lot more variety in the gameplay. I mean, that was an awful teleport. I definitely know what I'm doing with this character, and definitely have literally never played the character because I don't own them. Omen has the ability to use the ult and be like, so I'm over here now. I mean, that's a very minor look at a couple of characters. I mean, let's just get Sage. Sage says things like, here, wall. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to spam these. I have infinite abilities unlocked so that I can mess around with them because this is a shooting range. But like, you can make walls and you can jump on them. And we have like slowness grenades. So various characters have their own sort of grenade-like thing. But it's quite a change from PUBG, I'm gonna be honest. It's not a bad game. I don't particularly dislike it. I mean, I prefer PUBG still. I just like PUBG. I guess I'm just used to it after all those many hours I have on the game. As a PUBG substitute, it's not really a substitute because it's a very different game. But I'll probably keep playing it. If you want to see me actually playing the game properly, then like the video and subscribe. That way, when I look at my analytics, I see that this video's done well. That means that Valorant will probably do well, so I'll go play some more Valorant. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. So thanks for watching. Don't get distracted. Go subscribe now, and until next time, I don't know what to stare at. Goodbye. It's not even looking.